Coming into the air tonight, plays here in the Hyder Center. It's now starting to tip off here for basketball as Prep takes on Millard West here in the Hyder Center. As we welcome you here as Prep plays Millard West, alongside Tyler Reedy. I'm Alex Tejan. Great to have you here, Tyler. Both these teams just having their wins last night, pretty good wins, and now here we are. What do we have to offer?
Yeah, so Creighton Prep coming into this game, a lot of questions, playing some close games against some more mid-range teams like Grand Island, Lincoln East. Some people wondering, are they truly the top 5 team we expected? But last night, close early against Omaha Northwest, able to pull away late, show really who they are. Their stars were able to shine in Martell Evans and Luke Jungers, so they'll look to build on that tonight against the Millard West team that lost their entire starting lineup to graduation last year, but trying to string together some wins. They won last Saturday against Fremont, added to that with a win over Bellevue East yesterday, so now here they are looking to make it 3 in a row in a very tough environment.
As we move to the top 10 in Class A, there is Bellevue West at number 1, Prep down at number 7, as you see the recent game being last night against Omaha Northwest, as you said. But Millard West, though they're not on here, they did beat Bellevue East quite dominantly, but we'll just see what has to offer here tonight.
Yeah, Millard West, they're not the most flashy team. They're not really going to impress you that much and get into that top 10, but they'll play tough. They'll play tough against just about anybody, and Prep certainly knows that with the way the games against them the last couple of years have gone. But there's a big matchup tonight going on between Bellevue West and Pius X. That's down in Bellevue. And then Prep trying to make a statement to the NEB Preps coaches poll that they should be ranked a little bit higher because, as I said, there were some questions after last week. They'll have a chance to play Lincoln Southwest next Saturday for Christmas in the Cage, as you see at number 6, and then Gretna as well next Thursday, who's a borderline top 10 team. They're probably one of the first 3 out.
Going into this game, both these teams had 3 games. Prep having 2 of which were pretty clutch shots late in the game. Martell Evans on the game winning against Grand Island, and Sean Ramachandran on the game winning against Lincoln East. And both of these teams have just been quite decent when it comes to scooping up victories. Millard West, not too much, starting off with the overtime loss, but still regrouped.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, just looking through all of the scores from last night, there were 18 Class A teams that played each other. And out of all of them, Millard West was the team that held their opponent to the lowest point total. You see Bellevue East only scoring 28 in that loss to the Wildcats. And then Prep on the other side, out of the 18 teams that played, they scored the most points, 73 against Omaha Northwest. They outscored them 28 to 10, I believe, in the 4th quarter. So Creighton Prep got better as the game went along, but so did Millard West playing that great defense against Bellevue East. So should be fun to see how they stack up, trying to build off that momentum tonight.
Millard West allowed Bell East to just 2 points in the 2nd quarter. But speaking of Millard West, some of the players who on offense, Cole Kirschmer, Avery Moore, and Trace Staden, they've been pretty impact players, both on offense and defense side of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you try to ask the question of who's going to be the player to watch tonight, I think it's going to come down to the flow of this game. If Prep comes out hot like they did in the second half last night and is firing and putting up a lot of points, it's going to depend on Cole Kirschner. He's the sharpshooter of this Millard West team. He can make a lot of long-range shots, but if Creighton Prep is a little slow starting and the game is low scoring, much like it was last year when Prep beat Millard West 42-40, it's going to be all about rebounds and just trying to grind out points. That's where you look to somebody like Trace Staden or Avery Moore, who has a little bit more size on the inside.
Trace Staden at 6'8". Now Prep's powerhouse guys, as you like to name it, Martell Evans, Luke Jungers, they've been like a dynamic duo on the season, as Martell Evans and Jungers both pretty good on points per game and rebounds per game.
Yeah, absolutely. All 3 games this season really doesn't depend what kind of defense you put on them, what the opponent might be, or how the game might be going, just in terms of flow, rhythm, momentum, these two are going to score, and they can do it in a multitude of ways. We saw Martell Evans just using his speed, his explosiveness to get to the basket around anybody who you put on him. And then Luke Jungers, we all know he's a 3-level scorer, and not only does that allow him to score, but it allows things to open up as well offensively for the rest of the guys.
Both of them have been just a part of the pretty much the two big puzzle pieces on this Preps offense and defense as well. CPSN is happy to have Mike Sells Omaha as our varsity sponsor. Navigate today's real estate market with a name you can trust. Mike Beacom with Nebraska Realty. Mike has over 20 years of experience in the residential real estate, is a Prep alum and a proud supporter of Prep Athletics. Visit MikeSellsOmaha.com today. We welcome back to the Hyder Center. Starters on the stars are getting presented. For starters from Millard West, number 2, Cole Kirshner. Number 10, Max Froloff. Number 12, Peyton Moore. Number 22, Zach Grandiganet. Number 24, Avery Moore.
This Millard West lineup, coached by Bill Morrison, it's going to be interesting to watch. Could be a really nice chess match here. Coach Lukey in his 21st season, Bill Morrison in his 13th at head coach.
Yeah.
Took the Wildcats on a nice state run last year. It'll be very interesting to see how this develops as a chess match between these two very experienced coaches, trying to use the bench players, get into the depth as well. So it'll be very fun to watch between these two highly experienced coaches.
For the starter for the Junior Jays, number 0, Luke Jungers. Number 3, Ed Hubner. Number 5, Joey Rischel. Number 12, Sean Ramachandran. And number 20, Martell Evans. All 5 of them have been key figures to the prep offense and prep defense.
Absolutely, and I know you want to look at Martell Evans and Luke Jungers as the top 2 guys, as you should, rightfully so. They've been excellent to start this year, but Joey Rischel still averaging over 11 points per game. He plays very active defense, has a ton of hustle. Sean Ramachandran grabbed 11 rebounds last night. Talking about this prep team not having a ton of size, aside from Luke Jungers, although he's not the most seasoned rebounder in the world. He can do it, but doesn't do it a ton.
Rebounds against Omaha Northwest last night, and we'll just him and just other guys able to grab the ball and put up points on the board as well. Set the tip off here. Luke Jungers and Avery Moore up the tip off. Glad you're with us on CPSN as Prep wins the tip. Ramachandran over to Evans. And immediately taken away. This is Avery Moore and gets the dunk on the board as he lays the hammer down at a quick 2-0 lead by Millard West.
That's a way to start a ball game. That's the intensity Millard West is going to come in here and play with.
Ed Hubner. Now here's Joey Rischel. Ramachandran over to Jungers. Look the shot, and he'll take the shot from downtown. Won't get it. Bobbled around, and it goes into the arms of Zach Grangenet. As he gets it to Avery Moore. To the far side. And now trying to look, and it won't get the shot. It is way off the mark as it's a rebound by Ed Hubner. It
was a great recovery by Rischel defensively.
That is true, as Rischel trying to get the layup to go, but Jungers there to get the offensive rebound and gets it back up and ties the game back.
And that's the impact of not having Trey Staten starting the game for Millard West. Luke Jungers can really feast on that size advantage he's got, showing it right there, grabbing that offensive board and putting it back home.
Some people would think Luke Jungers and Trey Staten would start off this game against each other, but not for right now. We're going to have to wait. As this is Peyton Moore over to trying to get to the foul. Got the basket and the foul in the end one as puts Max Roloff on the basket and trying to make the and one.
And I mean, even if you're undersized, there's almost always a correlation between having some speed. Millard West certainly has that. You saw Froloff going right around Ramachandran and beating him to the rack.
Can't get the N1, but an offensive rebound and not putting back up. Peyton Moore cannot get that back up as Jungers gets the rebound, and now it's over to Evans. Trying to work his way, and now Ed Hubner. Luke Jungers working against, and a foul is called. It'll be on Zach Grangenet.
Going to be very interesting to watch who Millard West decides to go with on the inside against Jungers, because it's very easy to get in foul trouble when you're giving up 4 or 5 inches to him.
Rischel to inbound, and Evans there to lay it back into the basket.
Boy, Prep a step ahead right there on the inbound. Martell Evans always so aware, looking for that pass, looking for the slightest opportunity to make a play.
Great read by him as the three-point shot is off the mark and bouncing around and taken away by Evans. He's trying to bring the slam, and there he goes. Martell Evans brings down the hammer as gives Prep the lead. And now here is, looks like great defense by Jungers, but it will stay with Millard West as Avery Moore tried to go around him.
Well, the Evans experience is on tonight. That was something else. I mentioned in the pregame how Prep might not have the best rebounding squad in the world, but they've got guys that can get up, and Martell Evans was able to get in the air, poke that rebound away, and get out ahead of everybody and throw it down. That was unreal.
Luke Jungers has been taken off the court as he gets looked at by athletic trainers as Evans comes up with the ball. Here goes Huebner and lays it in to make it increase the lead from the assist from Martell Evans.
Martell Evans certainly has come to play. Whatever intensity the Wildcats might bring in here, he is certainly going to match or exceed.
Here's Joey Rischel taking the turnover and tries to fake them out, and no foul is called. The Birdcage does not like it, as here is Kirschner not going to get it as Townley gets the rebound. As Evans tried to increase his drive as he got that dunk earlier. Gets out near side to Ramachandran. Trying to work his way. Huebner trying to work out. Here's Ramachandran. Pure! Sean Ramachandran from the near side corner increases the lead up to 7.
That is a signature of Prep basketball right there. The drive and kick. We saw it so many times last year. And there you go. Prep didn't hit a single three-pointer in the first half. That's a great way to do it tonight.
Trying to work out, and the ball does come loose from Zach Grangenet's grasp, and jump ball will stay with Millard West.
This is what I talked about in the open. The key player or players for Millard West is certainly going to depend on the way this game goes and the way Prep can score, and it certainly looks like they can score tonight. So going to be watching number 2 in black, Cole Kirschner, to try and hit some threes, but he can't do so with that.
Inbound goes out of bounds, and that's something that you really don't want to see if you're a Millard West fan, as now with this Prep's offense starting out now going pretty high, especially after the dunk by Evans, and now here's Trey Staten, who will check into the game. We said his name quite a bit in the impact players early on the live stream, but now here's Evans, and trying to look for Townley. He won't get the pass, and it's a turnover. Here is Jaden here trying to get the putback up by Avery Moore, as Jaden Gaius tried to bring the play over. Now here's Evans.
That was a nice hustle by Avery Moore. He was the third man in, and Prep only had 2 players back.
Ramachandran working it up to the paint. Now outside to Evans. Far side, Ramachandran. And gets the ball poked out, and it's going to Millard West basketball.
That was good pressure by Jaden Gaius. Mistakes are certainly want to be avoided. Can't make many errors in such a hotly contested game like this one, and in a tough environment like we have here at the Heider Center. We've already seen Millard West make a few, but that time they were able to force one from Prep.
Here is Froloff working around Ramachandran. Now Avery Moore. Still working, and gets a clear basket, and it will get it to make it to shorten the margin to 3.
Avery Moore can do so much for this Millard West offense.
Yep.
In the first 2 games of the season, he had 16 rebounds, 22 assists, and 6 blocks. So he can do it on both sides of the court, and might be tough to defend for Creighton Prep. They really haven't seen a Swiss Army knife like him since Isaac Trout a week and a half ago.
Offense and defense guy for Avery Moore, as here's Joey Rischel, won't get the basket to go. And it gets looks like it was Avery Moore, just had the ball roll out of his feet. And now it's had Huebner. Out to Ramachandran. He had made 1 3 earlier, but can't get that one to go, as it's a rebound by Max Roloff.
That was a nice driving kick, though, from Huebner. It looked like everybody in the arena thought he was going to go straight to the basket. Made that decision to kick it out.
Whistle and a foul looks like will be called on Joey Rischel. Some guys checking in. Joe Sudbeck and PJ Newbill will check into the game, along with Cooper Fortune for the Wildcats, as he'll inbound it to Max Roloff. Trying to find what he can do as he takes it slow with 2:15 to go in the quarter. As Gaius tries to make it to the tries to make it to the basket. The ref will say it is Millard West basketball after the ball goes out of bounds.
Millard West playing a lot more aggressive offensively than I thought they might. Their most ideal tempo, just going back to even last season, is taking it slow, having some long possessions, and keeping the scoring down and really controlling the game flow. But they're pressing it tonight.
Trace Thaden and can't get the basket to go, and the ball comes up in the arms of Joe Sagenbeck as it gets to Ramachandran, and Ramachandran hands it over to Evans.
Josh Townley having no problem with Thaden that time.
Out to Sudbeck, near side three, pure! Joe Sudbeck comes into the game, and how about that? He scored now, they said he scored 3 consecutive threes in his career, and that's a 3 that he'd like to have, I'm sure. As Gaius gets the ball poked out, and a whistle has been blown, and it looks like a foul will be called on Evans.
Yeah, Joe Sudbeck. I talked about the impact Cole Kirshner can have for Millard West as a sharp shooter, a guy that can string together some shots from distance. Well, Joe Sudbeck can certainly do that coming off the bench. And with Millard West playing close pretty early, Prep would love to have that to break away.
Thaden out to Jaden Gaius. Trying to work his way around as Cooper Fortune. Now looking to spice things up as ball finally gets into the paint and still working around Evans. Jaden Gaius, and now here's pass around and Zach Grangenet will walk. Travel violation, and the ball will be turned over to Prep.
The speed of the Prep defense is really remarkable at times. That was some kind of possession. Millard West never got more than 1 foot into the paint, and by the time they were finally able to get an open look, they had traveled. Prep able to follow them closely and make things really difficult on offense early on.
The sophomore Eben Knight has checked into the game, and here he is with the ball. Trying to work in, and a foul will be called. I believe it will be on Zach Grangenet.
In this first quarter, much like yesterday, going by pretty quick, only 44 seconds left. Certainly been very energetic as we expected. Millard West has brought in a nice student section to somewhat match Preps. Of course, Creighton Prep birdcage all the way back to the concourse like it was last night.
Grangenet comes out as he has a second foul. Now here's Sudbeck. Over to Evan Knight. Now here's Newbill.
Keep an eye on Ramachandran there. If he gets open, he's going to take it.
Ramachandran gets the and one. How about that?
No, it's offensive foul. They called a charge.
Oh, no.
Well, they called that one a charge on Ramachandran. Birdcage hates it, but that was a nice job by Thaden to get his feet set just in the nick of time. Ramachandran had a beautiful shot fake in the corner to get himself free for a drive, but unable to cash in.
Thaden does get in there to draw the foul, as now here he is with the ball. Cole Kirshner working against PJ Newbill. And he has the ball, and
5-second violation.
Yeah, you're right, and now it's a turnover for the Wildcats. Will go to the Jays.
Chance for Prep to get the final shot and really put a strong capper on what's been a nice first quarter for them, considering how much they struggled early on last night.
Now here's Evan Knight. Joe Sudbeck can't get the buzzer beater, and it's 14-8 at the end of the first quarter. Both teams with good offensive plays and defensive plays, and we'll be back. Good quarter so far to start things off. Junior Jays with a 6-point lead as we head into the second quarter now. We've seen a couple threes here by Ramachandran and even one from Joe Sudbeck, and from other scoring as well from Millard West as well.
And you look at some leading scores after the first quarter. It's been very evenly spread. Martell Evans, as expected, leads Prep with 4 points, followed by Ramachandran and Sudbeck, as you mentioned, with 3, and then Millard West. Avery Moore has been the man so far, had that authoritative dunk to start the night, and he has 6 points out of the 8.
Luke Jungers, who looked like he got a little weird looking as he did come off the court in the first quarter, but now he is back into the game. As here's Sudbeck working his way, trying to. Now here's Joey Rischel over to PJ Newbill.
I should mention Martell Evans not on the floor at the moment here for Prep.
Jungers for 3, pure. Luke Jungers. Put him on the list for making a 3-pointer tonight.
Yeah, something Coach Lukey has emphasized going into the season has been be aggressive. If you have those looks and you feel confident in yourself, go ahead and take it. And I tell you what, if Luke Jungers can start hitting shots like that and he gets hot here in the second quarter, Millard West could be in for a rough night. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Inbound and getting it to go, that is Jaden Gaius, and the assist from Avery Moore, it looks like, and now he gets it back, and great execution on the offense.
Gaius, good combination of speed and length, could certainly make things a little bit difficult for this Prep defense.
Newbill trying to work his way around, and it goes up and gets a foul. PJ Newbill gets to draw the foul as 2 guys were on him. And he'll go to the line to shoot a couple.
Gaius trying to plead his case that it was all ball, but referee begs to differ. And PJ Newbill, Coach Lukey seems to be rewarding him with some extended minutes after his performance last night. He was great, scored the 6 points, first 6 points of his varsity career last night.
He saw quite a bit of playing time from him as well as he knocks down this first free throw to add him to the book as he gets his first basket.
And you bring Townley into the game now. I think that allows Jungers to stay on the perimeter a little bit more and really use all 3 phases of this game rather than have to stay down low and rebound.
2 guys at 6'8" are now on the court as Evans, it looks like he'll check back in. So far so chill with the Prep offense. Now we'll just have to see what's defense has to offer. We've seen quite a bit of it, and now here is, looks like it's Max Froloff now over to Cole Kirshner, back to Froloff.
Looks like Prep playing a little bit of his own here.
That is true, I just noticed that, and now here is 3-pointer shot, and it is off the mark from Max Froloff, and ball looks like got knocked away from Sudbeck, and now over to Gaius, and Evans trying to take it away, and Josh Townley, it looks like he did grab the ball, but looks like it was to get the ball out of bounds and just fortunately could not work.
Millard West, unless they can continue to offensively rebound like they've done so far, they're going to have to make those threes. That was a really nice extra pass from Kirshner, but unable to convert. You know, with the speed of that Prep defense, they're not going to have many open looks.
And offensive foul, it looks like. Oh, no, it was, yeah.
Yeah, offensive foul.
It was an offensive foul.
I think they got Gaius. I'll make that Peyton Moore. Called it on Peyton Moore.
Yep, and with a 9-point lead, Evans, Newbill, and Jungers are all in the game along with Sudbeck and Rischel. Here's Newbill. I see Millard West kind of getting into his zone as well. As here is Joey Rischel for 3, gets it off the mark, and a rebound by Cole Kirshner.
Rischel, a very confident shooter. He leads the Junior Jays in both 3-pointers made and 3-pointers attempted, so if he's going to have just a little bit of an opening, he's going to take it.
Avery Moore, Jungers on him, to the outside.
Watch the size mismatch with Peyton Moore and Joe Sudbeck there in the post.
Throwing it out of bounds, Prep basketball.
They had the advantage and they tried to exploit it, but we've already seen several unforced errors from Millard West early on, and they're going to take a timeout to potentially try to find a way to correct those. But yeah, errant passes, throwing the ball out of bounds. You can't do that when you come to the Hyder Center and play a team like Creighton Prep. Junior Jays always very well coached and certainly a perennial top 10 team with a fair amount of talent, so mistakes cannot be had if you're the Wildcats. Gonna have to try to find a way to fix those, just settle down a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it, as first time out by either team, as still with the 9-point lead and just trying to cool things down. It's been pretty fast, kind of like last night. It's been quite a fast-paced game, and with 5:30 left in the first half, Prep with a 9-point lead, and some pretty good plays by both teams, pretty much.
Yeah, we saw the Avery Moore dunk to give us our first points of the evening for Millard West. Then Martell Evans answered a few minutes later with a one-hand slam of his own. So the electricity has been there tonight for sure.
Kind of give me flashbacks to Justin City or Majay Wiley on the dunks, but now here's Newbill trying to get it over to Evans. He squeaks by 3 defenders and gets the bucket to go. How about that, Martell Evans?
Does he ever turn the ball over when he's driving to the basket? It's just amazing the way he can control the ball. It's like he has it on a string, even when he's moving as quickly as he is. Martell Evans really becoming an elite ball handler this year.
Pass to the outside to Max Frolov off the mark. And now here's PJ Newbill. Stubbeck to Jungers. The corner shot for Risho won't get it to go. Be rebound by Max Frolov.
That was a nice box out by Kirshner on Evans on the rebound.
And Frolov does get the basket to go, as it was a correction. That was Peyton Moore on the basket to put his first 2 points on the night. As Jungers, three-pointer, 2 for 2 from behind the arc. As Jungers, how about it? How about that? He has 8 points on the night already.
And what do you do if you're Millard West in that situation? Jungers just steps right up to the three-point line and drills it. He can be a really confident player once he gets his shooting going, and there you go, back-to-back three-pointers made for him.
Kirshner working on Rishel. Out to Thaden, then Frolov. Trying to see what can work, as they did get one basket and a foul is called on the floor.
Going to be against Sudbeck, and there's that mismatch I mentioned earlier where they threw the ball wide and out of bounds. Peyton Moore with Sudbeck guarding, and they're going to bring Jackson Dasher in to take out Sudbeck, getting in a little bit of foul trouble, but either Sudbeck or Dasher certainly gives up some height to Peyton Moore. Millard West is going to have to try to go to that.
Multiple three-pointers made for Jackson Dasher last night, as now he is checked into the game.
Had a career-high 8 points.
That is true, as now Jaden Gaius over to Thaden, and Frolov throws it out of bounds. It'll be Prep basketball. Max Frolov, and I think some of the other, I don't know, it looks like some sort of miscommunication.
And that might be a reason why we're seeing Millard West trying to get to the basket so quickly, is because Prep can force you into those errors when you have long possessions. And certainly a reason why the gap is starting to widen a little bit here.
Jungers to Risho, back to Jungers. Look like it might have lost control of the ball as he was going up, but instead, here's Cooper Fortune. Trying to three-point shot, too strong, and a rebound, and here's Trace Thaden to put the ball right back up.
And that's the matchup we're going to be watching. Thaden's first 2 points. How much is Jungers going to stay down there in the paint and try and take those rebounds away from him, because Evans and Ramachandra and Newbill, they can only jump so high. Thaden is a large human being in terms of height.
He could easily just blocks and shots and like what have you.
He had three blocks last night in the win over Bellevue East.
So he's a good guy and a lethal weapon to put in the paint as well, to do whatever you need to.
So Creighton Prep certainly seeing the lead grow a little bit with those Jungers three-pointers, and they're going to have to just continue to be aggressive. They don't want to get forced into those long possessions. That's really a big reason of what kept them so close against Millard West last season. They got into long possessions. They had to settle for really difficult shots. So if you get their opportunities from long distance or a drive to the basket, you got to take them, because You don't want to end up in a low-scoring duel. That's where Millard West thrives.
They do keep good job of keeping teams to low scoring as they kept Bell East under 28 last night. As now here's Evans. Risho at the top of the key, now trying to work his way in. Risho gets the end one. Joey Risho gets the basket to go and add a whistle on that as he'll get his first points of the night.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned in the beginning. Creighton Prep certainly has a complete lineup from what we've seen in the early going. That's the 7th different man to score points already for the Junior Jays. Joey Risho getting to the rack.
Add him to the list. Ball been spread around quite a bit here tonight as Risho converts on the end one. Reese Kohler checks in and Evans almost gets the turnover, but it did not corral it and still goes with Millard West. Great defensive play by him though.
Yeah, he's always got his head on a swivel, knows where those opportunities could be lying.
Over in a turnover, looks like he'll get a push on him as Trace Staten will get the foul.
PJ Newbold, last night several times I compared him to Martell Evans in that he's got that quickness and that awareness. He can make explosive plays, and there you see, he saw that pass, got in the lane, and out-jumped his man, come up with the turnover and force a foul. He can do a lot for this Junior Jays team off the bench.
He sure can as Dasher checks it to inbounds the ball over to Evans. Townley back in, and he'll take the ball to Newbill. Working little mismatch as goes over Trace Staten. Won't get the ball to go, but Dasher with the rebound. Joey Risho from downtown. Pior. How about it, Joey Risho? He's been lining it up here since we started the second quarter.
I don't know how Millard West loses him. They've got to know he's an aggressive shooter, and he's going to take that every single time.
Staten can't get the little layup to go or short shot to go as Newbill looking against Max Froloff. Now here's Evans. Trying to work way into the middle, and foul is called. A lot of traffic on Martell Evans, and we shooting two.
That's something Martell Evans can do so well on those drives to the basket. He can change the arm angles, contort his body to get himself in the best possible position to either get the ball in the hoop or force a foul, and you see it right there.
Evans gets the first free throw. We've been seeing he has a 70. First of all, he has a free throw percentage of 73%, but can't get that one to go. But still with a 17-point lead here. So now here's Cole Kirshner working against Risho, now out to Max Roloff. Here's Jengayes and a turnover by Joey Risho, trying to work his way to the hoop and can't get it to go. Ball bouncing everywhere, and a whistle finally does come out.
Millard West has got to try and figure out a way to stop telegraphing their passes. It's clear with how many interceptions Prep has had that they can see what's coming in advance, and they're jumping in the lanes as Townley's going to head to the line. But Risho, Newbill, Evans, really all of the same breed in that they hustle. They've got a ton of speed and awareness, and they're putting it on display, giving Prep plenty of extra opportunities to get down the court and score.
Refs do kind of see if they get it right, but now here's Josh Townley on the line. Can't get the first one to go.
I think Newbill forgot it was a shooting foul. Millard West has put Prep in the bonus with 18 fouls, but this is not a 1-and-1 for Josh Townley.
Cannot get both two to go as a rebounded by Gaius. Now here is Max Froloff working against a Newbill. Now here is Gaius. To the top of the key to Avery Moore. Tries to work inside and takes it back out to Froloff. Working his way around. Now here's Staten. Gets the pass and gets it to go. Avery Moore did have good they did have good defense on Avery Moore, but he was able to get the pass in. A great job by him.
Yeah, his reach did a lot to help him out there. He had smaller players jumping all around him, but was able to extend that big right arm out and make the catch and put it in for 2. Prep with a chance, though, to get the final basket.
Evans takes it slow as the clock continues to tick down. Now here's approaching 10 seconds.
Keep an eye on a drive, maybe a kick to Dasher. Oh,
Here
there
he
it
is, Jackson Dasher, too strong, and now with 1 second left, half-court shot, not good, and pretty good 31-16 lead by the Junior Jays. We'll see you back at the end of the half. first half in the books here in the Hyder Center. Another half about ready to tip off here, and just so far so good, both for the Prep side and a little bit of the Millard West side, even though they are down by quite a bit. Along with Tyler Reedy and Alex Sejan. Well, Tyler, just we saw quite a bit of, last night against Omaha Northwest. First half threes weren't going too well, but in the second half they've really turned that around. But now here we are, more threes, and here we are with just hopefully more dominance as what people would wish for.
Yeah, and I think here we are with one team looking a lot more comfortable than the other. Creighton Prep has played with a lot of confidence so far in their shooting, in their drives to the basket. They're out-rebounding Millard West pretty well, and so far the Wildcats, they just need to settle down, avoid the unforced errors, and just take it piece by piece on closing the gap.
As that's a good way to start, as Peyton Moore, it looks like, gets his second basket of the day.
Yeah, and that's a great way to show that you're feeling much more comfortable. Really nice passing from the Wildcats on that sequence.
Now here's Ramachandran. Over to Rieschel, who's one of those guys that's been hitting threes quite a bit, as now here's Eddie Humner. Out to Luke Jungers. Just off the mark, and a rebound by Trey Staten. A lot of people were hoping that he'd get that three, as we've seen threes from him quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, he's already made a couple deep ones tonight. Wildcats are lucky to get away with leaving him that open and not having to pay a price.
Cole Kirshner looks like Max Roloff, who did lose the ball. Great defense by Ramachandran. Trey Staten over to the middle and gets another quick basket. So 4 to start things off, as the 4 points to start things off. And now it's 31-20 as Evans has the ball over to Ramachandran.
There's that length advantage again for Peyton Moore. That time it was Ed Hubner on him, and he's about the same height as Dasher or Sudbeck, who we saw guarding Moore in the first half. Same result. They get it to him in the post, and he goes to town.
Joey Rieschel over to Evans. And out to Jungers. There's a little mid-range shot, won't get it to go, but Ramachandran puts the points back up on the board, as looks like we've seen many times he's been grabbing the rebounds, especially from last night, and there's a good example of it.
Yeah, he has no fear going in there and grabbing boards. He had 11 last night, but Peyton Moore continues to answer.
Yep, that's true, as Moore pretty well kind of like exchanging baskets. That's now Millard West was an early 6, as now here's Rieschel. Now Jungers at the top of the key. Ed Hubner had to reach for that pass. Joey Rieschel, too strong, and Humner gets away from the rebound, but it can't get it to go as Max Roloff gets the turnover, and the ball goes out of bounds, but it will stay with Millard West.
It looked like a block by Jungers. He couldn't believe that the official made the call that it was still Millard West ball. He thought he actually didn't get a piece of it, but he had a massive height advantage over Froloff that time and forced a very difficult shot, able to get a piece of it.
Birdcage starting to get amped up now. It's to 11-point game. Cole Kirshner working against Rieschel. Now to the basket, gets it to go. Avery Moore, it looked like, on the basket, and now here's Evans.
And as good a defense as Prep usually plays, that's one thing we've seen them struggle with, especially going back to the Lincoln East game. Those back cuts, they can lose their men sometimes on those along the baseline.
Joey Rieschel, another three. Gets it to go this time. After he missed the first one, and now here he is with another one. And now with a 12-point lead to get really put, a little margin on this.
And Rieschel now becomes the leading scorer for the Junior Jays with 9 points. That big three that we've been talking about this entire weekend of Rieschel, Jungers, and Evans has stepped it up once more. Rieschel has 9 points on those made three-pointers. Jungers has 8 and Evans has 7. Sean Ramachandran not far behind with 5. The Junior Jays, they're really starting to look like they might have a solid core like they had last year with the seniors of Wiley, City, Rollins, and Buckley. Now this year, you've got 2 seniors and a junior with Evans, Jungers, and Rischel looking like they can score at will in some cases. They certainly have tonight.
Sure have, and even with 4 of their starters from last year out, and still putting quite decent numbers on the board, and especially from the guys that were benched last year to even guys from on the bench, and the guys who even new on the team, like Sean Ramachandran and other guys that were on the JV team last year. But back to here as Cole Kirshner work his way around, and now Trace Thaden. And a 3-point shot, too strong for Max Roloff as Evans comes away with it.
Froloff has really struggled from 3-point land tonight. That's been another big difference between these 2 teams that's allowed the gap to widen to 12. Prep has made those open looks. Millard West does not.
They take advantage of the points that have not gone in for Millard West as Evans quick with a quick 2.
That was a beautiful play by Evans. He just always knows the way to turn his body and change those arm angles to find the most available layup, and he did it again there. Had a nice stutter step as well on his way in.
Traveling call, but they did call Congregate, and looks like a foul will be called on Jungers.
I think we might be getting a kicked ball or something there. I don't know. I don't know if they ruled it a foul.
Made motions with his
kicked ball.
With a kickball, as it would be in basketball. And then they did say foul on Luke Jungers, which, whatever way have you, Millard West ball down by 14. 4:10 left in the 3rd quarter. Gaius working against Jungers. Back to him. Over to Cole Kirshner and trying to pick up the ball, Peyton Moore. And no travel call. Zach Grangenet had the ball, and now here he is now with a pass and to the middle, and they will call a foul.
I don't know if Grangenet really had enough possession of the ball for you to call a travel.
Yeah.
It was juggling, bouncing around. Never really had full control of it, so I think that might have been the right call. But good hustle, good effort to stay with it and make a pass and allow Millard West to keep going on offense.
We've seen the ball quite here and there tonight. Avery Moore to the middle and taken away by Newbull.
Tried that back cut again, but Newbull and Evans would not be fooled.
Here he is over to Jungers. Working against Avery Moore. Step back, Jack. How about it, Luke Jungers? Another 3 in the books. Increase this lead up to 17.
Man, don't you wish you could make life look as easy as Luke Jungers makes those 3-pointers? I mean, he can really get confident once he gets going, and certainly appears to be the case today.
Cole Kirshner looks like he get the ball, and a foul is called. It looked like the ball got poked away, but the refs will say it will be a foul, it looks like, on Ramachandran.
Yeah, I think the basket.
No, Luke Jungers, sorry.
Yeah, the basket went as well. Millard West is going to need everything they can get. That's the one chance it appears they might have an advantage. If they can't make the 3s, they've got to start looking inside and maybe get some of Prep's bigger players in foul trouble.
They take advantage of the N1. Substitutions do happen here now with the Jays now up by 14. So far, quite a high-scoring second half. It was 31-16 at the half, and still a pretty interesting an entertaining half of basketball. As Evans working against the Gaius. And now here's Newbull. Back to Jungers. Trying to work his way over to Evans. Back to Jungers, trying to look for the open hole, but he will not get it, but a foul will be called, and now he'll go to the line and shoot a couple.
That's what's so difficult about guarding Luke Jungers. You just don't know what he's going to do because his skill set is so wide. He can turn around and shoot a fadeaway jump shot, and more often than not, he'll make it. Or, like we saw last night when he dunked it on the first points of the game, he can turn around, make a little spin move, and go straight to the basket.
Sure can, but can't get the free throw to go. First free throw to go. As you said, he's been he's been going pretty good tonight as he now has 11 points on the night. And even last night, we've seen him, I think that's a good way to, the dunk at the beginning of the game last night, I think that was a great way to start the season. But now, we're back here as 3-point shot, an air ball. Looks like it was, I believe it was Zach Granginet on the missed 3, and now here's Newble and Evans. Back to Jungers. Over to Newble off the pass. Ball pops into the air and it knocked away and picked up by Peyton Moore and passed by Gaius. Doesn't get the ball to go in and gets a second chance and he'll convert there.
Nice work by Gaius to stay with it after he missed. Prep was able to bring several defenders back in Evans and Newble, but Gaius didn't give up on the play after missing the layup and was able to cash in.
Great execution and just second time's the charm for Gaius, and a whistle, and on cue Gaius will get the foul as he went up against Jungers.
Millard West has certainly committed to a hard man-to-man defense here in the second half, and it's doing a better job limiting the potential for threes from Prep because they can't get inside very much and work those driving kicks. See how the Junior Jays trying to combat that. Martell Evans certainly a good way to try to do it.
Sure is, as he gets it over the Jungers. Did work against Trey Staten, but then got a shot. Rishol will travel, and the birdcage cannot believe that call, as he did travel first before heading to the basket from the ref's perspective, as Gaius has control now to the mid side. Trey Staten and gets another basket to go as he gets it over Jungers.
I'm not sure what PJ Newble was doing there. I thought he might try to help Jungers, but ended up just kind of standing and watching. Thaden able to convert and get it over the 6'8" Jungers.
If you're Coach Lukey, you might not have been too happy with that, as here Evans driving to the hoop and lays it home.
He'll be happy about that.
Yeah, that's right, as Evans has now hit 11 points on the night. Cooper Fortune now to the 3, kind of lobbed up, and Jungers gets the rebound. I believe it was Cole Kirshner on the 3, and now here Jungers on the 3. How about another? Luke Jungers, 3, and 3 again. He has 15.
One team misses and another team makes. Sometimes it's just as simple as that. Millard West just can't have anything from downtown tonight, and meanwhile Luke Jungers is on fire.
We haven't seen too many threes from him the few seasons, as we were bragging up how he was in the middle of the paint, and right on cue for Jungers, a foul has been called.
And with that last Jungers triple, it's his 4th consecutive game to start the season with 14 or more points. One of the biggest questions we had about him coming into the year was, where was his level of consistency going to be? There were times where he could absolutely get on a roll, string together double-figure games, and then Birdcage is happy about something, I'm not sure what, but there were times when Jungers could look as hot as could be and then would really disappear for a few games.
Sure.
Certainly looks like to start the year, he's going to be in a spot where he produces not only a lot more, but a lot more often for the Junior Jays.
Thaden, he can't get the shot to go. Townley corrals with the ball and over the Ramachandran. Thaden just could not get the shot, and here he is, Ramachandran. Townley on a 3-pointer, too strong. 47-31 going into the third quarter. Pretty entertaining as we've seen, and quite entertaining as Birdcage rocking, Hyder Center's rocking. We'll be back after this. Hyder Center. Welcome back here on CPSN. Tyler Reed, Alex Cheejan here on the call. 47-31 is the score going into the fourth quarter. Prep taking control. We've been seeing quite a bit of threes from Riesel, Jungers, you name it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really been the difference in this game. As I mentioned, sometimes one team just makes them and the other misses. Millard West has had almost nothing from beyond the arc tonight, and that's allowed the deficit to really widen as we've gotten closer and closer to the end of this one.
Here's Evans working against Cooper Fortune. Gets the and one. Yes, he did get the and one, I believe.
Sure did, and that's what the speed of Martell Evans can do. Once he goes breezing past you, it puts you in a really unfavorable position defensively. You've got to sacrifice, potentially commit a foul to get yourself back in position to contest the shot, and sometimes that shot goes in as well, as we saw right there.
Evans does convert to the and one. I believe Prep has this largest lead of the game. Now it's at 19. Townley, only guy defending, and ball goes between Avery Moore's legs, and it goes for a turnover, and a foul is called. Kirshner on the Kirshner on the foul.
Both teams with 4 fouls, so nobody in terribly bad foul trouble just yet.
Nope.
In terms of the two teams. Have to keep an eye on that down the stretch. That's the last thing Millard West wants. They already put Prep in the bonus in the first half, and it's not going to help their chances of getting back in if they do it again.
Here is Newbill, and yes, it looks like he traveled, and looks like Newbill might have got poked in the eye or something. He might have tried rubbing his eye, but here we are back and open, and layup is good by Peyton Moore.
Yeah, I think Townley and Riesel got caught ball watching a little bit there, and Moore was able to sneak behind him. They were both looking at the man who caught the inbound and had no idea Moore was sneaking in behind him.
Martell Evans gets the ball stripped away, and looks like a foul will be called. Believe it was on Avery Moore.
And here comes the player of the game as it stands right now, Mr. Jungers.
Sure is. I think the story is we were bragging up having points and rebounds and everything, and Luke Jungers says, yeah, I'll show you my threes tonight. And the pass is invalid. Here it comes Zach Grangenet and puts the easy layup on the board.
Yeah, I should hope you can score when you've got a 3-on-0 going to the basket.
It sure is. That's now two baskets have been done as pretty easy baskets, as one been wide open, one been the easy layup. As here is Riesel. Will be a foul on the floor, I believe, on Max Froloff.
Yep, and here we go with Millard West, a foul away from putting Prep in the bonus.
Yeah.
Riesel, it's incredible. Just an average height, not too big of a guy, but he's got that lunch pail mentality. He just gets into the paint and works. Thrashes around in there, draws fouls, gets to the basket. It's impressive to watch.
Evans, another foul called, and that will put them in the bonus. Oh, wait. Yeah, it will put them in the bonus.
Yep, they're going to get Peyton Moore, and that's going to send Ramachandran for a 1-and-1. So now Millard West in a really difficult spot.
Sure is. And 7 fouls, Ramachandran to the line with a 15-point lead. Basket does not go on the 1-on-1 shot, and here comes Peyton Moore, or Zach Grangenet out. I'm sorry, and then now here is Cole Kirshner trying to go toward the basket, and able to pick it up is Peyton Moore off this board, and he just lays it back out there, and the lead has been cut to 13.
Yeah, Wildcats have definitely picked up the urgency here, knowing they've got to get points in a hurry.
Evans gets the ball taken away, and here he comes. Cole Kirshner on the ball. Now Max Froloff shoots it and lays it in.
Oh, when Millard
10-point lead.
Yeah, when Millard West needs it most. 10-point lead, as you said. They finally get the three-pointer. We'll see if that changes things. There's still plenty of time left.
Yes.
This game is not over by any means.
Really?
6:03 remaining. All you've got to do is hit a couple big shots, force a couple turnovers like we've seen, and you're right back in it. Millard West really needed that three. You can tell.
Sure did.
They're fired up. They know they need points in a hurry, and they're executing well. You know Bill Morrison, with his experience as head coach, is going to be able to push the right buttons. It's just going to be a question of, can Coach Lukey and his guys do the right thing in response to hold.
Both these looking to write something up as Millard West has inched its way closer back into this game, and they pretty much are back in this game with 6 minutes left.
The three-point ball has definitely gone quiet as of late for the Junior Jays. They have shooters in the game. Jungers, we know, as we've seen tonight, he can hit. Joe Sudbeck is a sharpshooter. He can hit. Rischel is as aggressive as it gets from beyond the arc. So we'll see whether or not the Junior Jays want to employ the strategy of holding the ball a little bit, wasting some clock, or if they want to keep pushing and get the large lead back.
Jungers to inbound. Evans back to Jungers, looking to pass it around as Ramachandran gets 2 guys, now 3 guys on him, over to Jungers. Evans.
Does look like they're going to hold a little bit, run some clock.
It's a good idea. Probably Coach Lukey did talk about that during the timeout as Ramachandran. Jungers look like out there some sort of screen. Now here's Sudbeck speeding toward the basket and gets out to Evans. Jungers now, as you said, they are taking their time as Sudbeck over to Ramachandran.
Prep just looping around the perimeter, trying to find that opening. Let's see if Jungers can do it in the post.
Gets the ball stripped away. It will stay with the Junior Jays. As you said, I thought maybe Luke Jungers would go to the basket and did not go out, but it will stay with Prep.
That's what's impressive about the Junior Jays offense. They're always moving. Nothing's ever stationary. They're always coming around the perimeter. Even when they get stuck out there, they're not just passing around and staying stationary. They're moving around and trying to find those openings at all times.
A whistle. And a foul will be called on Peyton Moore, it looks like.
That's his fourth. That's a big loss for Millard West. Peyton Moore has been doing some great work in the paint, but now they lose him, at least for now. Gaius comes in for him, and Jungers goes to the line.
Peyton Moore with 12 points. Jungers going to the line. Makes it an 11-point game and possibly 12. And just trying to hope for, if you're Prep, you just play pretty much, I think my list is just to play solid defense on offense, just slow it down, and that's what they've kind of done there, as if Jungers hits the free throw.
And that's 17 points for Jungers to match his season high.
And cannot get the ball to shoot. Avery Moore could not lay it in, as rebounded by Ramachandran Evans. Trying to work his way around. Ramachandran, too strong from the far side corner, and a rebound by Max Roloff. Jaden Gaius. Zach Ranjanette, 2-point jumper will not go. Evans with the rebound as he just stays in bounds.
Good contest by Prep.
Jungers too short as Zach Ranjanette comes. Here's Gaius, lays it in, and it's back to a 10-point game.
Yeah, what you lose in size from Peyton Moore going to the bench, you gain in speed with Gaius coming in. He can race down the court with the best of them. You see it right there, laying it in to make it a 10-point game again.
Jungers gets tripped.
He's all right.
Oh, boy. Looked like he did get it.
He slammed to the ground there.
Yeah, but tough guy, and he'll made his way back up. He did first quarter. It looked like he maybe bruised his arm or something. It looked like it was
something in the upper body.
Yeah,
he's been going through it tonight. That's for sure. But he has led Prep exceptionally well in this one.
A tough player on the court, and he gets the free throw to go after that. .407 left. Now with Jungers has been to the line once earlier, and he'll convert on all 4 of his shots in a timeout by the Junior Jays.
That's 19 now for Luke Jungers, and
that's pretty good.
See him holding his midsection a little bit. We'll see if the trainer Bill Kleber takes a look at him. Looks like he'll talk things over a little bit with him, but yeah, Luke Jungers great night. We've seen it on all 3 levels. He's been great in the paint, getting himself to the free throw line. We've seen him at least attempt. Hasn't made as much of those 2-point jump shots that he does so well, but the 3-pointer has been there and then some tonight from him. Jungers has been excellent. Martell Evans has been driving in, opening things up for some driving kicks as well, getting himself to the free throw line. So the 2 guys you expect to be carrying the load for Prep have been, and with 4 minutes left, what does Millard West need to do to get back? Well, they have to keep pressing. They can't waste time, because if Prep keeps getting themselves to the free throw line, which they will with the Wildcats at 9 fouls, you're going to have the answers on offense, and you're going to have them quickly. So Wildcats need to get to the basket. If the 3-pointer is open, take it. I know it hasn't been working much tonight, but all it takes is a couple. Guys like Grangenet and Kirshner can turn it around in a hurry, so you have to keep looking at it. Kirshner is out of the game for the moment, and they still are yet to bring in Peyton Moore.
Peyton Moore, who has
those 4
4
fouls, exactly. So we'll see how they play it here.
Sure has. Max Roloff over Joey Rischel. To the inside to Gaius. Working against Evans, and Rischel comes up with a turnover. Racing down the court. Rischel gets fouled and hits the deck pretty hard.
Yeah, good to see. He's all right. That was an excellent play by Rischel, but it all started with the recovery of Martell Evans. I was shocked at how open Gaius was underneath the basket, and then all of a sudden, right before my eyes, Evans came flying in to defend. Gaius had no chance to get a shot up, had to pass it out, and it resulted in the turnover, and Rischel coming back the other way.
That puts Prep into the double bonus. Rischel with 2 shots. Executes on one of them.
And that's double figures now for Rischel. He's got 10. As they bring Kirshner back in the game along with Thaden. Still waiting on Peyton Moore.
Looks like Ed Huber will be coming back into the game, as he will convert on the second shot. Inbound of Max Roloff. He's been getting a lot of tension from the Birds cage tonight, that's for sure. As he works against Hubner. 3-pointer goes in. It takes it to an 11-point game.
Well, he's missed a fair amount of threes tonight. The Birdcage has really been getting after him, and now he finally makes one. But yeah, that's what Millard West needs. If the shots are there, take them. Got to get back in this game as quickly as possible.
Max Roloff, and now over to Trace Thaden. Now here's a quick 3.
Uh-oh.
There he goes. That is Zach Grangenet with an easy 3, and it's now an 8-point game with 3 minutes left to go.
We have seen comebacks between these 2 schools on the football field before.
Yeah.
You might remember September 25th, 2020.
We were there.
Watch out for Millard West here, making it a single-digit deficit now.
Had an amazing football game, too, this year, as they were down at 1 point, but Marty Brown with the touchdown, and a traveling violation will be called on Luke Jungers, and some of the Prep fans do not like that.
This is where Prep has got to get their leaders in the game. They've got a senior and Sudbeck coming in. Just settle down. 4 seniors on the floor right now, with the exception of Riesel, who's shown he's got plenty of leadership as well. Prep just has to settle things down. Don't make mistakes late.
And now here's Thaden trying to work against Jungers, and a foul is called.
Goodness, the Birdcage is going to explode.
Birdcage is about ready to storm the court in anger as Jungers gets the foul, and 2 shots will be coming by Avery Moore. And a timeout will be called by Millard West.
Timeout. Wow.
Pandemonium has been growing in the past 3 minutes or so, and it's just been, boy, it has been a fun one, that is for sure. And boy, it's a good 2 minutes and 25 seconds we'll be awaiting here tonight, folks.
Yeah, Millard West not in the top 10. But you just knew, you had that feeling. They always seem to play tough, especially against Prep. Saw it last year in the 42-40 game at Millard West, and now here we go. They are not backing down at all, even with the birdcage as loud as I've ever seen it. Millard West staying with it, sticking to their guns, still taking the threes, still feeding it into their big guys underneath the hoop. And
Sure has.
who knows, if Prep continues to make offensive mistakes and have empty possessions,
Yeah.
you could easily see this thing potentially tied. Wildcats just going to have to keep pressing, because the only way they get those unforced errors is by putting pressure on the Junior Jays.
Playing great defense.
Yeah,
and
playing great
everything.
defense. We've seen the defense pick up in the second half. They just have to stay aggressive on both ends of the court. Don't let Prep get comfortable if you're Millard West.
2 free throws will be coming up for Avery Moore. And it'll be probably, it can easily decide like what could happen later in this game. Free throws do really matter, especially in basketball.
Avery Moore now, by the way, with that last free throw, 14 points. That breaks his career high of 10, which he set last night against Bellevue East.
Yep.
So a big night here for Avery Moore.
And now he surpasses that.
6-point game. Wow.
Boy, it is. This crowd we are by the Millard West sideline, and it has really awakened as they've been down by 19 at one point.
They bring Avery Moore out of the game, so now Millard West. Actually, I think they brought somebody else out of the game. Avery Moore's still out there. I was going to say they're a little bit undersized, but no, Moore's still in there.
Trey Staten is not in as well, who's the other big guy. Evans takes it easy, approaching 2 minutes to go. Jaden Gaius defending him. Joey Rischel. Joe Sudbeck. That's what you said. They just have to play great defense. Prep's taking it. They have all the time in the world.
Yep, this is where the Give Nebraska a high school shot clock crowd would be screaming.
Yeah.
Prep can take all the time they want right now. And they certainly will.
Evans with Jaden Gaius on the ball, and Evans turns it over, and a jump ball, and that will go to Millard West.
Opportunistic defense.
That is true.
Gaius just saw the slightest error in Evans' dribble and jumped all over it. He takes a well-deserved seat on the bench, as there he is. Peyton Moore, 12 in black, has returned to the game with 4 fouls.
With 4 fouls.
That adds a lot to Millard West with 1:20 to go. Huge possession here. Got to get points.
Sure thing, as Kirschner working against Rischel. Now here's Peyton Moore out, back out to Kirschner, and that is now within 4. Another, looks like timeout called by Millard West, and boy, it has really turned around.
All right, it's been a while since I've seen a team down 4 looking this confident. Millard West knows that they have Prep on the run right now, as it looks like Gaius is going to come back in for the Wildcats, but that was a heck of a play from Kirschner. Knew his team needed a basket quickly, was able to pull out the shot fake, get himself an opening, and drilled it. Ice in his veins. Yeah. Wildcats needed it. He delivered it.
Sure has. It's just, this is, you know, we at first thought Prep would run away and everything. Just complete turnaround in my opinion.
Yeah, if you had told me that after the third quarter we would end up with a 4-point game with just over a minute to go, would have thought you were crazy. Instead, this game has been crazy. Millard West and Creighton Prep bringing us a classic, as they almost always do
in
just about any sport. Yeah, there you go. There was a soccer game I did last year where it went to added time, overtime, and Prep won that one. So it's amazing. Just about any sport you ask for, these two are going to play a wild game, and we're getting another one. And it's great having a full capacity Hyder Center back as well for a game like this.
Good to see no cardboard cutouts here in the Hyder Center, including, but as we get real real prep students and Millard West students who made the trip, and here we are with another classic as Sudback looking to inbound it.
Gotta get it in.
It does get it to Ramachandran, and it will stay with Prep. At first I thought somebody tugged at Ramachandran's jersey, but it does stay with Prep.
Yeah, man. It is amazing how much things get heightened when you get a game close as this. Oh, they did call a foul against Millard West.
It is on Zach Grangenet. It will be his third, and that'll send Ramachandran to the line. And the ref has to explain it.
Avery Moore needed an explanation there, I suppose. But,
yeah.
The foul called on Grangenet.
I saw it from here. It looked like he did get a tug on Ramachandran's jersey.
We are going to see Peyton Moore right back into the game for the Wildcats after this free throw.
He will come back in with 4 fouls, and Ramachandran converts on the first point. On the first free throw, I should say.
Yep, Ramachandran, we certainly saw in the Lincoln East game when he drilled the 3 with 1.3 seconds left. He's got the clutch gene. 2-for-2 trip to the line would be tremendous for Prep here.
Rattles it home. Now a little cushion as they go to that 8-point lead. Kirschner trying to work around as we're under a minute here in the Hyder Center. Avery Moore back out. Cole Butt. That is Cole Kirschner. That is Cole Kirschner. So the wrong sheet and a turnover. Evans just has it and now corrals it, and Max Frolov does corral it, and now here we go.
You don't need a 3, you just need points.
That's a good point, and that is, Frolov does not get it to go, and here's Ramachandran, Evans now, and a foul is called. That will send Martell Evans to the line.
Goodness, that was a huge miss. The lane was there for Frolov, but he just lost his balance enough to be unable to get enough height on the layup attempt, and that's a huge swing. Evans now with a chance. Been a pretty good free throw shooter this year. Wasn't expecting the ball from the official, but he's got a chance to really put Millard West away if he can make both.
Evans short on the free throw. Just not what if I were Coach Luke, I would not be too impressed at what this would happen. As Evans misses them both.
Wow.
Rebound by Avery Moore. Or now the Max Frolov now with the ball.
Gotta go.
3-pointer. Too strong. Offensive rebound by Avery Moore.
What a
and
play.
lays it back in. And makes it a 2-point game with 11 seconds left.
What a play by Avery Moore.
That is an amazing awareness, and just puts it back up the board, and now down by 2 with 11 seconds left.
That is incredible. He set the school record for assists in a game with 13 a couple of weeks ago, so you know he's a team player, and he's putting the team on his back down the stretch. That was incredible. Martell Evans, you know he's going to be giving it everything he's got for that rebound, and he certainly did, but Avery Moore just said, no thank you, took it himself, got back to the hoop, and now a 2-point game. Wow. That's all you have to say about this one. And the craziest part of it is still yet to come, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true. Evans, we don't see very often, as he looks like he leads the team in free throw percentage, and just could not execute on that last try.
Yeah, 0 for 2 trip. He kept coming into the game. He was 73%.
Yeah.
11 for 15. Went to the line, I believe, 3 times on and ones and made all 3 of them. So it was very surprising to see him miss both of those, but got to have a short-term memory in a game like this. Whatever mistakes you've made, and every player has made their mistakes.
Sure have.
You got to wash them down the drain and make plays for your team late. Millard West is certainly doing it. Prep can come up with a couple to write a finish to this one.
Reshow the inbound.
It all starts with this.
What do you have to go with? He hands it to
Got a
Jungers
foul.
and fouls him. 9.6 to go.
Yeah, it's probably the last guy Millard West wanted to foul. Jungers
Jungers has been pretty decent on the free throw line.
And he's been there, done that. He has been on these big stages in the past, and he has historically been a really solid, reliable free throw shooter for Prep. But crazier things have happened. We've already seen Evans go 0 for 2. All Jungers has to do is miss one, and the Wildcats have a chance.
Swish. Now to a three-point game. As we're looking to Jungers to make this a two-possession game, which would be huge. This right here. Gets it to go. Two-possession game, 60-56. 8 seconds left. You gotta hurry.
Doesn't need to be a 3. Oh, that's the
And
last
that's
thing you
the last
wanted.
thing. Sudbeck takes care of the ball. Under a second, this game is over. Joe Sudbeck to save the game, and now that is how it'll end of this amazing fourth quarter game. And
yeah, we've got Grand Jeanette down on the court. That's tough to see. He was the one who...
Not a good way to end this game.
He was the one who fell to the ground with Sudbeck coming away with the steal, grabbing at his right leg.
Does not look good, but with all said and done, Prep survives a little lead comeback, an impressive performance by Millard West in the fourth quarter especially, but Prep does hold on and take care of business 60-56. Any last thoughts, Brendan? Or Tyler?
Yeah, we'll get Brendan back in here next week, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Prep, I mean, boy. What more can you say about this game? Luke Jungers down the stretch. We came into the season wondering, could he be the guy to rely on down the stretch? We know about what happened at State last year, how much he struggled, especially late in that triple overtime game against Bellevue West with some costly turnovers, but tonight he was the guy from start to finish, making threes, getting to the free throw line and making them. That 2-for-2 trip just about sealed the game for the Junior Jays. Luke Jungers, fantastic performance tonight as they continue to look at Grand Jeanette, but I think that bodes really well and is telling of how this season might look, especially in big games for Luke Jungers.
Upcoming games for both these for both of these squads. Prep on Thursday goes to Gretna, and then Christmas in the Cage will be here against Lincoln Southwest. That will be a pretty fun one here at the Hyder. But for the Wildcats on Saturday, they will go to Lincoln High to take on Lincoln High at 7. Yep. Now it is good to see to have
Grand
Jeanette. Yep. Does look like he is getting helped up, and now this game is now over on a good side. And from CPSN, Tyler Reedy and Alex Tejan, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on Saturday for Lincoln Southwest. Have a good night.